All right, well, welcome to Monday Morning Yoga. I'm Denise Drews. I'll be guiding this practice. I invite you to start in a seated position this morning. So go ahead and take a seat on the ground or on a pillow if you'd rather be on a cushion. Just lift your hips a little bit. And then just see if you can feel that sensation of being connected to the earth, rooted to the earth, grounded. Sometimes I have to just wiggle around a little bit and just kind of feel my way to the earth. Maybe move forward and move back. When you're ready, close your eyes. Draw your attention inward. And just think about that word connect. Just noticing which parts of your body are touching the earth. Imagining just dropping an anchor, something heavy that holds you here. You might bring to mind a tall, sturdy tree with deep, deep roots reaching down into the earth. And this tree has branches that are full of leaves right now. And a lot of us saw some massive wind yesterday. So I'd like you to imagine that you are like that tree and there's so much noise blowing around us. So as we sit here, we can bring our attention to the trunk of the tree, the center, and the roots that are unmoved, unshaken. We're allowing the noise to go on around us. And we're finding this quiet, calm center here in the middle of a storm. You might even also imagine that you're in a stand of trees, the people practicing with you right now, your neighbors, growing our roots into the earth, and our roots connect below the surface of the earth. Bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. And connect with yourself here. Feel hands on your body. Feel breath moving in and out. And from this connected place, connected to the earth, to yourself, and with each other, start to find some length. Our rooting down gives us the ability to sit taller. Feel length in the back of your neck, through your spine, across the front of your body, and then just keep breathing deeply in this tall, dignified seat. Let's let the left hand come to the floor and the right arm come up to the side. Find a side bend. Let's just start by reaching the fingers as high as you can up toward the sky. This left hand can either be on the floor or maybe even drop to the elbow if you'd like a deeper bend. Let the top elbow be high, but just bend the elbow so that arm kind of comes over your head, but you're still lifting the elbow high. Breathing into the side body, lengthen there. And then release, switch sides, drop the right hand or elbow, left arm comes up. Plug your sitting bones into the earth, put a soft bend in that top elbow and breathe into your left side. Just let that breath expand your ribs, move your diaphragm and your lungs. Let's go back again. Left hand down, right arm up. This time maybe even up and over a little bit more. And switch. And we'll go one more time, the farthest yet. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, plug your hips into the earth. On the inhale, lengthen the side of your body. And then on the exhale, just release any tension. Come back to the center, switch sides. Deep breath in. Exhale, connect to the earth. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, just release any tension. And then go ahead and just release your arms down. Bring your hands behind you and extend your chest forward. See if you can just feel some expansion there across the front of your body. And think of your heart just pushing forward in your chest a little bit more, just extending compassion out to the people on this screen, to the people in your life, to the people who need a little more compassion today. Releasing that posture. Wrap your arms around your body. Touch your fingers to the back of your shoulders. Drop your chin and just round your spine down. And imagine just receiving that love, that compassion that was just sent out. Just bring it in. And then inhale, sit tall, bring your fingertips behind, open up, send that out. And exhale, draw it back in toward yourself. You might cross the opposite arm over. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to open and lengthen through the front. Exhale, receive, pull it in. Expand, extend, and draw in. And then bring yourself around to a tabletop position. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And let's do slow cat and cow here. Moving first from the tailbone and ending in the crown of the head. Both directions. Snaking your way up one vertebra at a time. And we'll find neutral. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up into downward facing dog. Take some time here, spread your fingers wide and really make deep hand prints. Pedal your heels and start to look for deeper footprints. And just connecting to the earth now in this new way through our hands and our feet. You can keep wiggling or you can start to find stillness. Take a deep breath in and sigh as you exhale. Let's take a slow walk forward. Knees are bent. And we're just going to heel toe our feet wide. So you can stay on this end of your mat or you can turn sideways if you prefer. We're going to take our feet just a little bit wider and put a decent bend in our knees. So we can take the fingertips to the floor in front of us. It's kind of like a wide football stance. like I know anything about football, but take a deep breath in, lift your chest so your hips are dropping down, and then as you exhale, straighten your legs, drop your head. And we'll do that a few times. We'll bend the knees and lift the head up. Inhale, exhale, lower down. You can go as deep as you want in that squat or as shallow. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Moving with your breath. Two more times. Just take your time slowly down, finding muscles maybe that have been hiding. You haven't paid attention to them for a bit. Good. And from the straight-legged position, just a soft bend in the knees. Bring your hands to your thighs and help yourself up to standing. Turn the toes even wider for sunflowers. So reach your fingers to the corners of the room. Take a big gulp of air in. Exhale, squat down. And we'll start to move with breath. While you're doing sunflowers, connect your feet to the earth and lengthen up and away from your feet. You might picture in your mind a big, beautiful, bright sunflower just turning its face to the sun. Let's go 3 more sunflowers, as big as you can make them. Beautiful. And then reach as high as you can. Gather up all of the energy that you can find around you. Bring your hands together and just pull that right into your heart. Bring your feet a little closer together and come down into a chair pose. We're going to put our hands on our legs and do standing cat-cows. So tucking the tailbone under, round your spine with a big exhale. And then lift your tailbone, roll up through the spine, big inhale. Start to be just curious about the inner workings, the way the spine moves, muscles contracting and relaxing, organs shifting as we move. Let your attention stay here inside your body, especially when your mind wants to get ahead or run back. One more time, just nice slow curves of the spine. And let's find neutral and bring ourselves to mountain pose. Mountain pose, connect to the earth, reach down through the roots, and then let your arms float all the way up overhead. We'll take a hold of our right wrist with our left hand and just stretch up and over the side, the way we did on the floor. You can press a little harder with your right foot, anchor down, lengthen away, and find a release. And we'll switch sides. Anchor, connect down, lengthen, and find a release. Come back to center. Open your arms out and let them come behind you. Interlace your hands, and if that's not easy for you, you could grab a strap. Just open up here through the chest, let your arms reach back, and we're going to come forward into a chest expansion, forward fold. Lowering your head to the earth, your hands reach up above you. Connect your feet to the earth. Lengthen the rest of your body. and find a release. Imagine just there's a release valve, just letting off steam, letting off tension, letting off worry. And then we'll bring our fingertips to the floor. Let's put a nice bend in our knees again and reach the arms all the way up and overhead. We'll step our feet wider and come into a warrior two position. So right toes forward, right knee bent, left leg extended back. Breathe right here. Feel the connection to the earth, grow those roots. You might even widen your stance for today and really feel those legs like the trunk of a tree just plugged into the earth. Now keep your lower body where it is. Turn your right palm and reverse the warrior. Connecting down, lengthening up. Can you find some kind of a release valve in this posture, a letting go? Ah. Good. Returning to warrior two, let's straighten that right leg and come into triangle pose. You can rest your hands on a block on that front leg or maybe the floor. An expansive posture, rooted down in order to be lengthened. If you'd like a little bit more, you can take that top arm up over your ear, extended triangle. If you find any pain, back off, step back a bit. And then reaching those fingers up to the ceiling, put the bend back in the knees. Open to warrior two. Let's turn all 10 toes to the center. Grab the hands behind again, and we'll find a wider forward fold here. Head to the earth, knuckles to the sky. Deep breath in. A release on the exhale. Let's let our hands come to the earth, soft knees. You can use your knees to bring you back up to standing. And we'll turn our warrior to the left side. Bending our left knee. Plugging into the earth. Set that anchor. Reach out through the fingers. Nice. Look over your left hand and turn that left palm, a receptive gesture. And reverse your warrior. Just see if you can feel the steadiness of the ground below you, your legs, like a sturdy tree. And you're looking up at those branches, and there might be a lot going on up there. And notice how you can see all that busy noise going on up there, but down here there's quiet, there's calm. Back to warrior two, we'll straighten the left leg and come into triangle pose. So just hinging from the hips, reach down, open up. Just trust the ground beneath us, our legs to hold us here, and then we can expand. If you'd like to take that arm over, get a little more, just keep your chest pointing forward. Connect to your breath. And let's bring that arm up. That will help us come back to warrior two. And turn the toes forward. Bring your hands to your hips and just start to walk your feet closer together. We're going to work now, we're warm, I think. We're going to work through a series of deep forward bends and then deep back bends. So we're going to move our body into like drastically different positions. So to begin this, feet are hips distance apart, knees are soft, and we're going to hinge from the hips. So see if you can hinge forward with a flat, straight spine. Hands come to the shins. And then feel that pinch in your hips, that fold in your hips as you come all the way down over your legs. Let's all bend the knees a bunch so that you can just lay your belly right down on your legs. The hands come to the back of the heels. Arms come behind the calves as much as possible. And from here, just straighten your legs as much as you can without pulling your belly away. So see if you can keep your chest, your belly glued to your legs as you straighten your legs. Feel the crown of your head working toward the earth, the sitting bones lifting toward the sky. Connect, lengthen, and release. Let's soften the knees. Let's bring the hands to the floor. Come down into a little bit of a squat. And if your knees don't like this, just bend your knees as much as you can. But just a little kind of a counter to where we just were. Yeah, good. And then we'll put our knees down on the floor for rabbit pose. So rabbit is another deep spine bend moving forward. So if you can sit on your heels, do that. If not, put a pillow or a block underneath your hips. That's going to make, for some of you, that's going to feel better on your knees. Yeah. And then we'll come forward the way we do in child's pose, placing our forehead or our head on the ground as close to our knees as we can. We're going to reach back and grab a hold of our heels. So your thumbs are on the outside of your feet, your fingers are reaching to the inside, and then we're just going to lift our hips. So you're pulling against straight arms. Your head is on the floor, chin tucks to the chest, and you should feel that you're really lengthening around the whole back of your body. And find the breath here. Exaggerate breathing between your shoulder blades, up and down your spine. Breathe into the back of your waist where the kidneys are. And let your exhale be a release. And let's let our hands go. Place the hands on the floor in front of you. Come into cow, the opposite of where we just were. A little lift of the chest, a length in the spine. And then neutral position. We'll tuck our toes. Let's come into downward facing dog and we'll just move around a little bit here in down dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, you could do that here, maybe lifting a leg or rolling through the hips. And then we'll release our knees back to the earth, stepping the right foot forward, coming into a kneeling lunge. Good, and just feeling some opening across that hip flexor. Let's bring our hands to the inside of our front foot and then start to roll that knee in and out. So Just dropping the knee out to one side and hugging it back in. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can drop one elbow or both to the floor. And just explore what's happening around your hip. If you've been doing a lot of sitting, this is the prescription. This is the medicine. Drawing that knee back up, let's separate the hands and shift the hips back, finding that front hamstring. So folding the torso forward, the head comes down toward the shin. Breathe here and find the length of your hamstring. To make this a little bit more sensational, walk your hands forward, pull your toes back. And then let's just come forward. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step into downward facing dog. Again, moving any way you'd like, vinyasa, or just wiggling out a bit. And we'll drop our knees and swing the left foot to the top of the mat, switching sides. So finding that kneeling lunge. Beautiful. And then just bring your hands to the inside of your left foot and start that action. I call this juicing the hip. Just moving that hip in and out. And again, inviting your mind to be fascinated with the workings of your body as a way to bring you back to this present moment. What's happening in your hip? What can you change and explore a little differently? We'll bring the knee straight up and down, hands split the foot, slide back into that hamstring stretch. Walk your hands forward as far as you like, and then just pull your toes back. Take several deep breaths with your head dropping down, your hips pressing back. Finding hamstring. And we'll release, tucking the back toes under and stepping one more time into downward facing dog. Just giving you another opportunity for vinyasa or to just wiggle through your hips and shake things out. Settle your knees back to the earth. Take the knees as wide as you like to the edges of your mat, and then just push your body back into child's pose. You can rest your forehead, rest your arms. Maybe roll your head from side to side to give your forehead a little massage. And just find a neutral position here to exhale. We're going to draw our body forward, coming all the way down onto the back. So working now into some spine extension or some back bending movements. Really the most therapeutic thing we can do if we have back issues is start to work strengthening moving backwards. So let's start with our hands right by our shoulders. Cobra, our legs are together and we're just going to lift up and down a few times. So inhale to feel sensation and then exhale back down. And just notice the point where you start to feel extreme tightness or tension. We want to always avoid pain, just going to the point where we feel strength and stability in our backs. If you're getting the green light, you could take your fingers off the edge of your mat and lift a little higher, moving with breath. And then just choose a hand position that allows you to come up and hold this back bend for a few breaths. Strength in the back, softness in the front, lengthen. And slowly release. Make a pillow for your cheek with your hands and just roll your hips from side to side. Just wiggle out your hips. Feel an easy little release here. And then with hands coming back to the shoulders, let's raise up to our knees for camel ustrasana. If your knees are sensitive on the floor, go ahead and roll your mat. You can just grab it and make a little extra fold like that, or grab a blanket. So come to stand on your knees. Tuck your toes under and bring your hands back onto your glutes. This is your chance to feel your own glutes today, so enjoy that. You want to press down on your hips rather than on your low back. So kind of the sensation is pressing down and the heart lifts up. The idea is we're trying to lengthen the spine more than we are trying to bend the spine. So hips down, chest up, breathe. This is a great place to stay, strengthening the back, softening the front. If you'd like to go a little farther, you could play with taking one hand to one heel and raising the opposite hand straight up. And if you chose that, switch. We'll be here for 3 more breaths in case you'd like to bring both hands to your heels or continue moving back and forth. Invite breath in, anchor down, expand up, find a release. And then let's find our way back. A neutral spine. Ease your way to a seat. After camel pose, I think it's always so nice to just come back to connection with the heart, hands over the heart, eyes closed, and just notice what got stirred up with that posture. It's a big, powerful pose that can bring up a lot. Back bends can represent a fear of looking back, of seeing what's behind us, and we kind of hold ourselves out of that. Back bends can bring up a fear of being vulnerable, being too open, too exposed. So after that posture, just giving ourselves a moment to connect again to the earth, to ourself, with each other. Let your hands come to your knees. And just do a very small cat-cow. Just a very small, easy movement. And start to turn that into a circle, like you're stirring a pot. Ribs to the side, around and back. And then reverse direction, stir the other way. Go as far as you can in all directions. And then easing our way back to center. Let's draw the knees together and we'll roll ourselves down onto our backs. Let's draw the knees to the chest here. And we'll continue that stirring action, just taking the knees wide and back together. Circles or ovals, maybe opposite, maybe a figure 8. Just noticing how that femur bone moves in the hip socket. Maybe it's the same on both sides, maybe it's different. And we'll bring our feet to the earth just by our hips for bridge pose, another back bending posture. So we're going to do this 3 times today. Each time is going to get a little bit bigger than the one before. So we'll just start here with bridge pose. And as we go through these 3 variations, you are welcome to stay wherever your body wants to stay. An idea is you could put a block or a pillow under your hips and just take a restorative bridge. Just let your body rest here with your hips a little bit more open. So this is bridge number 1. Breathe across your hips, breathe across your belly. Feel a little opening in your chest. And then just slowly release your back to the floor and feel neutral. Maybe there's a little arch underneath your back. Just allow that to be there. Deep breath in. Exhale to release. And then bridge number 2. Let's come back up, and this time we'll go a little higher, drawing our shoulders underneath us, interlacing the hands. So you might walk from side to side. See if you can get more of your shoulders underneath you. And the idea is we're trying to get the rib cage a little more vertical. So think of getting more on the tops of your shoulders. And when you've gone to the farthest point, we use breath to take us even farther. So exaggerate a big breath in the front of your body. Feet pressing into the earth, hips lifting. And on the exhale, just sigh and release to the floor. Just pause. Pause with your eyes closed, neutral spine. See what got stirred up there. So final bridge, bridge number 3. Place your triceps on the floor. Elbows are in a 90-degree bend. And we're going to use our arms to push us up. So use those arms like leverage. See about bringing your thumbs or your hands underneath your hips to support your bridge. If that's not working, stick with one of the other 2 options. Those of you that have wheel pose in your practice, you're welcome to take your hands by your ears and push up into that full expression, back bend. But whatever you found, the rib cage is a little more vertical, the heart is wide open, back is strong. Exaggerate the breath. connecting to the earth, lengthening and releasing. We'll release our backs to the floor, find that neutral again, and open your arms out into a T. Feet are going to be wide now. The heels or the toes are touching the outside edges of your mat. Start to windshield wiper those knees back and forth. Kind of neutralizing or releasing the movements of the spine. We'll drop the knees over to the left. Let them stay there as you turn your head to the right. Nice. And then just slowly lift and switch. The knees go right. The head turns left. Eyes closed, just inviting the awareness back into the body. Looking around here for something to pay attention to. And let's draw the knees back to center. One more time, we'll hug the knees into the chest. Let's find happy baby. So putting footprints on the ceiling, reach up and take a hold of the outside of your feet, your ankles, or your big toes, and then pull down like you're trying to press your knees to the outsides of your shoulders, outsides of your armpits. Let your tailbone rock down toward the floor, and then just put a little bit of movement here, side to side. Maybe extend one leg and bend the other. Pulling down with a little bit of force to lengthen the spine. Slow, long exhales. And then we'll draw the knees together, both legs in the air. And flex and point the feet. You can elevate your hips a little with your hands or with a block, waterfall. Just circle the ankles, point and flex. Relax your jaw and your face, your cheeks, your tongue. And let's just hold on to the right leg, let the left leg fall to the floor. We'll get one more nice hamstring stretch. Just bring that leg as close as you can. Flex and point the foot. Switch sides, left leg comes up, right leg lowers. Draw that leg in, flex and point. And then let's slowly lower that leg to the earth and begin to find your way into Shavasana, final relaxation. If you are more comfortable seated, you're welcome to take a seat and spend these last few minutes in seated meditation instead of Shavasana. Whichever you've chosen, just close your eyes. Sigh a long exhale out. As you rest, I'd like to read you a poem. The author is unknown. There are 2 days in every week about which we should not worry. 2 days which should be kept free from fear and apprehension. One of these days is yesterday, with its mistakes and cares, its faults and blunders, its aches and pains. Yesterday has passed forever beyond our control. All the money in the world cannot bring back yesterday. We cannot undo a single act we performed. We cannot erase a single word we said. Yesterday is gone. The other day we should not worry about is tomorrow, with its possible adversities, its burdens, its large promise and poor performance. Tomorrow is also beyond our immediate control. Tomorrow's sun will rise, either in splendor or behind a mask of clouds, but it will rise. Until it does, we have no stake in tomorrow, for it is yet unborn. This leaves only one day, today. Any person can fight the battles of just one day. It is only when you and I add the burdens of those two awful eternities, yesterday and tomorrow, that we break down. It is not in the experience of today that drives people mad. It is the remorse or bitterness for something which happened yesterday and the dread of what tomorrow may bring. Let us therefore live but one day at a time. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale long. Stretch your body, fingertips overhead, legs in the opposite direction. Yawn, sigh, groan, whatever you need to do. Start to make your way over to one side and eventually find your way back to a seat. Let's bring our hands in front of our hearts in gratitude. May what we've practiced this morning go with us today. May we find ourselves connected to the earth, to ourselves, our bodies, and to each other wherever possible. When we find our feet on the ground, may we allow ourselves to lengthen, to reach up, to reach out, to extend ourselves, to lend a hand, to have a voice. And at the end of the day, may we exhale and just release whatever the day has given us. Connect, lengthen, release. I hope you all have a wonderful Monday. It's the only day we have today. Namaste.